Before I start this video off, I'm gonna say that I am not sponsored by EA. They're not telling me what to say right now. I'm speaking my own mind. So keep that in mind before anyone decides to comment that I'm getting paid by EA or something. Also, thanks to the Hippie Jump podcast for letting me use their footage from the pre-alpha of Skate, or Skate 4, whatever you want to call it. Also, myself, Cypherus, the Hippie Jump podcast, Toasty Ghost, and Luke, we have a episode on the Hippie Jump podcast's YouTube channel on us talking on this very topic. So I suggest that you also check that out. If you guys have not seen, social media is currently on fire with a lot of people having mixed reviews on the new Skate game. And then you might be wondering, how are people having opinions on the game so early? The game's not even out. Well, EA actually allowed people, part of the player council, to release videos of them playing the game so people can see what the game's actually like and what the gameplay is like and so on. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having an opinion, but the game's in pre-alpha. The game's not even in beta. The game's not even in early access. The game hasn't even dropped. So to me, some of these points don't make a lot of sense. And here's an example, looking at my own Twitter post that people can look at. Not anyone else, my own. I made a tweet comparing two different videos posted by EA Skate looking at how characters look, and I felt there was a possible downgrade, but that doesn't mean it's certain. This was just a worry and also just a thought, thinking what are they going to do when the game's actually out, and how will the game actually look when the game's actually out, because currently we don't know. And some people may think, well, that might be the direction that EA is going with in terms of how characters will look in the game, but here's a good example of what I mean by you can't really give an opinion on something before it releases. Here's an example of GTA 5 in pre-alpha. Bear in mind, Skate's also in pre-alpha, and this game looks bland, it looks boring, it looks untextured, the character looks really weird, the animations from GTA 4. However, when the game actually dropped, it did not look like this, it did not play like this, it was completely different, it was very new, it was very fresh. So imagine if people could see how GTA 5 looked before the game came out. I guarantee people would be complaining like way too much about the game to even, give the game a chance, because the game's not even out at that point. Another thing is realism. Skate has never been called a realistic game. On the Xbox website, it is literally classed as a sports game. That means no matter what playstyle you have, you will be able to play that playstyle. It is not just set for realistic. And seen by some footage for the new game, there are sliders for how you skate, such as for grinds or even for pumping. And you can adjust these sliders according to your own playstyle. You don't have to play super arcadey. You can play really any way you want. Another thing that I've seen, and this is from a video that I saw, this doesn't make any sense to me. Someone said that the new game won't have any brands. That doesn't make any sense, because the first ever teaser for the game, which was completely rendered, clearly shows Vans Dime literally in the trailer. There was a slow motion clip of someone doing a tray flip. It's the same video that I was comparing the graphics to, but the skater is wearing branded clothes. So for those of you that may worry that there are no brands in the game, and you really care about having a good outfit like I do when I play Skate 3, you don't have to worry that there will be no brands, because there will be, and they have shown that there are brands in the game. So now I'm gonna look over the footage that the Hippie Jump podcast has posted, and I'm gonna say what I like, what I don't like, and what my concerns are. I honestly feel like the skating in this game looks absolutely amazing. Just by watching him skate around, these lines he's hitting, they look way too clean. And in a way, you can kind of see some steez with the skater in the way they're skating. I don't know if there's different skate styles or different ways of pushing like in Skate 3, but if they have considered it, that's sick. If they haven't, I think they should. Another thing that I really like are the sounds. Whoever did the sound design for this game, dude, I think they killed it. The sounds sound crazy. Some things in this game have returned, like the object dropper. Even though the game is completely online, you can still drop your own props to set up your own spots. It's pretty cool that that's included. And back onto the skating, I honestly love the way that these flip tricks look. Like, they just look so buttery. You can change the speed of how fast you make the board spin according to the flip trick. Not only that, some of these tricks can be held. Like holding the tray flip, that's just insane. And don't forget that these tricks can also be done as late tricks. So you can do like a kick flip, late tray flip. Like, it's insane that that's even a thing. I think it looks cool, and I'm happy that's included. With this game being completely online, there are also new ways that you can play with your friends. Not only can you just free skate around in the server of 150 people, but you can do challenges with them and you can do throwdowns. Throwdowns is like doing a spot battle wherever you want, really. And here comes my concern with these challenges. I find it really cool that they've included challenges to this game, and you know, that's a way, I guess, to progress, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I generally feel these core EA Skate elements like spot battle, one up, skate, Hall of Meat, death races, they're not shown at all in the game, and I don't even know if they're in the game. I know in the Grind Volume 3 they have said that they're going to consider it, but like, this is a very core thing to EA Skate that has to be included. There's no way that you can not include these important factors to the game. And now on to progression. This is the thing that I really wanted to talk about as well. So it seems like when you complete a challenge, you unlock this currency called RIP Trips or something, and with these chips you can open loot boxes, and these loot boxes give you clothes and whatever else. I just find that really weird that that's the thing. I'm not really entirely against it because it keeps people playing, and they need people to play this game to keep it going. It's a free-to-play game, and you know, player base and money does matter to keep it running. That's how like Fortnite works. For me, I'm not a fan of these loot boxes at all. Imagine if I want to have my own style and there's like a t-shirt in a box and I'm like, yo, this is perfect just to fit who I am. But in order to make my own style to match my own, in a sense, aesthetic, I have to gamble just to get the shirt that I want. It doesn't make any sense. Back in the other skate games, for example Skate 2, you earn money and then you can go to the shop and buy it from a whole different section. That would be way better in my opinion. And I'm not talking about spending real money, I'm talking about spending the RIP chip things. Now onto the store. There are some things that I have seen, and yes, there are goofy things like a hot dog outfit. There's also a Grim Reaper thing, and yeah, I'm talking about you can buy these things for real money. People may not like this, but this is an important thing because the game is free to play. How do you expect a game to run if they're not even making income? However, I'm not very familiar with how much things may cost. I heard things kind of cost a lot. Like some guy made a video talking about his own opinions, and he saw that a board was 500, was it? I don't know what the currency name is, to be honest, but it's 500 for a board, which is like $5, which is, to me, is way too expensive for a board. I feel like that would be justified if they would add more than just a board, maybe a whole deck setup, like wheels, trucks, and the board and grip tape. That would be pretty cool. But a deck by itself, dude, that's way too much money to spend on that. But you know, these prices that have been said, yet again, I don't actually know the prices. I'm going over what someone else has said in their own opinion video. They are way too early to really complain about it, but the fact that it's being brought up is a very important thing, to be honest, because the game's not even out and these prices can change. And that is the exact whole point of playtesting the game. People can playtest the game and give their own opinions to the developers, and the developers will then consider it and work on it just to make the game that the community wants. Not what they want, what the community wants. One thing I found very weird is that there's this character called V. I don't know how to feel about Reda / Shingo being replaced by like some robot AI camera thing speaking to me. It's kind of weird. It takes me out of what skate really is, you know? Why is there a robot talking to me whilst I'm skating? It doesn't really add up. It makes more sense when, you know, someone's following me, like Reda used to do, even though Reda didn't shut up, but that's what made it skate, you know? It was fun. Same with Shingo always commenting when you come back from being AFK. Like, these things are like super important to the core of skate, but replacing that with an AI robot camera thing, bro, it's kind of, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like skate to me. I'm just gonna end this video off with this, that I understand that this game is not gonna be the same as the past games. This is its own game, but there's a lot of core things to skate that made skate what it is. And I can only say this now because the game's in pre-alpha. I'm not complaining, oh, the game's ruined. It's more like these are changes that can happen to make this game better for the community and for new players and for people who loved Skate. So in short, look at these past games, look at all these cool challenges, amazing characters, the way that the world is, and even for Skate 3, look at how Skate 3 Online is. Look at how crazy the spot battle is. The most important thing for Skate 3 Online is Skate, like the game mode, and spot battle, and death races. These things are such important things, and people still play to this day. Even when Black Box shut down, these game modes were still being played. Before the new Skate game was even announced, they were being played. Also, don't forget a Hollow Me. Shout out to my friend Inhale This Truth. Also, this is not me hating on any of the development. This is just me speaking from someone who cares a lot about EA Skate. Like, I grew up playing the games. I'm like obsessed with it. As you guys know, if you see in my past videos, I look over all the development of the game. I archive a bunch about EA Skate. Like, it's generally my most favorite series out of any game I've ever played. So due to the resurgence, a lot of things matter to me and a lot of people in the community and to the people that are in the council. If you guys have any opinions or anything that you may wish to have in the new Skate game, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Maybe Full Circle might even see this video and they may consider what you write in the comments to put into the game. They're listening to everyone. They're not hating against, people are bashing our game. They want the best. So you might as well give them your opinions just so they know what people want for the new game. Also, don't forget to follow my socials.